Section 1.7 focuses on the distributive property. We're going to start by a quick review of the distributive property and then apply it to some word problems. We're going to start at the end today, so we're going to, if you can flip your guided note over to part E, here's where we're going to begin. Alright, so recall that when we use the distributive property, it is multiplication over addition or subtraction. Alright, so what this means is the first thing we're going to do is distribute the 3. So notice how we have 3 times 3a plus 4. So distribute the 3 to the 3a. And when you do that, you have to multiply the 3 times 3a, and that gives you 9a. Alright, then what we're going to do is distribute the 3 to the positive 4. So what's 3 times 4? That's a positive 12. So I write plus 12. So there's the multiplication over addition and subtraction. Alright. We did not multiply the 9a times 12. Number 2, distribute 2 times n is 2n. 2 times negative 3 is a negative 6, so I write minus 6. Again, I did not do 2n times negative 6. That would be a common mistake that people make with this. Alright, number 3, we have distribute the 3, so 3 times b is 3b. 3 times negative 3 is a negative 8, so I write minus, that's a negative 9. So I write negative 9. So 3b minus 9. And then the last one that we'll do, 5 times 5n gives us 25n, and then 5 times 1 gives us a positive 5, so it's going to be plus 5. Okay, if we look at number 6, alright, here we're distributing a variable, so let's look at how to do this one. So 3x squared times 3x, so multiply those together. So when you do that, you'd want to multiply the coefficients first. So 3 times 3 is 9. And then you have an x squared times x. So x squared times x, or x to the first. And when we multiply powers with the same base, okay, they both have a base of x, you add the exponents. So you add 2 and 1, so you're going to get x to the third. Alright, and then 3x squared times negative 4. Multiply the coefficients, so 3 times a negative 4 is a negative 12. So I write minus 12, and then there's no variable with the 4, so it's just x squared. Alright, number 7, again we're distributing a variable here. So 4b squared times b. So this is really a 1b. So 4 times 1, if we multiply the coefficients together, is 4. And then we have a b squared times b, or b to the first. When you have powers with the same base, add the exponents, so it's going to be b cubed. And then you have 4 times negative 4, or 4b squared times the times the negative 4, multiply the coefficients, so you're going to get negative 16, and then that's b squared. Alright, so take a couple minutes and finish the rest of these. Okay, going back to the beginning. So the math needed to be known for the lesson today. We just talked about it, the distributive property. And there are two common mistakes that are often made concerning this property. We're going to look at the first two mistakes and identify what it was, and then solve the problem correctly on the last one. So, common mistake number one. All right, as you can see, what has happened here. So they distributed the 4 to the x, and so they got 4x. Alright, and then distribute the 4 to the 5, and you get a positive 20. But notice they are multiplying the 4x and 20 together. They're not adding them. Alright, so what was the mistake made? They distributed, then multiplied instead of adding. Alright. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this to create room for the second one. In the second one, notice they distribute the 4 to the x, and so they get 4x, and then they did not distribute the 4 to the 5 to get 20. Right, so the mistake here is they only distributed the 4 to x. Alright, they only did it once. They had to distribute the 4 to the 5 also. Alright, and then let's solve the last one correctly. So distribute the 4 to the x, and you get 4x. Distribute the 4 to the 5, and you get a positive 20, so we write plus 20. So that's what the answer should be. This is incorrect, this is incorrect. 4x plus 20 is your answer. Okay, part B, the word problem of the day. A plumber charges $35 to come to your house to fix a plumbing problem. The plumber then charges $25 for each hour of service. The plumber must charge a tax of 6%. In part A, write an expression for how much the plumber will charge without tax. Okay, so let's identify the variable here. So a plumber charges $35 to come to your house. The plumber then charges $25 for each hour of service. So hours is going to be the variable. So let's define that. H equals number of hours. Alright, the total price is going to depend on how many hours he's there. Alright, so write an expression for how much the plumber will charge without tax. Alright, so the flat fee for just coming to the house is $35. Put that up front. And then you also have to pay $25 for each hour he's there. So that's going to be 25H. In part B, since tax is calculated on the entire charge, write an expression to calculate the tax on the charge. Alright, so we have 6% tax. We need to write that as a decimal. So 6% is the same thing as 6 over 100. 6 over 100 is 0.06. So we have to multiply that by 35 plus 25H. Alright, so this is going to tell us how much tax that we're going to owe. So 0.06 times how much we're going to be paying. And this is without tax, what you would be paying. Okay, now use the distributive property to rewrite your expression. So we're going to use it just to rewrite this expression here. So we're going to distribute 0.06 times 35. So when we put that into the calculator, you're going to get 2.1. And then you're going to do 0.06 times 25H. So just do 0.06 times 25. Multiply the coefficients in your calculator. And you're going to get a positive 1.5. And then we have to just keep the variable h. Okay, so 2.1 plus 1.5h. Alright, now part D, write an expression for the total charge including tax. So what we have to do is we have to go back and let's look here and here. Alright, so the 35 plus 25H, let's write that down. That's how much we're going to have to pay, but that doesn't include tax. So 35 plus 25H, let's put that in parentheses. Now we have to factor in the tax, so we have to add now that part right there. So plus 0.06 times 35 plus 25H. And there's your expression. So you're basically combining part A and part B to write the expression for total charge. And then in part E, if the plumber worked at your house for 2 hours, now we substitute 35 plus 25 times 2. We're plugging in 2 for H. Plus 0.06 times 35 plus 25 times 2. Alright. Enter that into your calculator and you will get approximately $171.06. This is how much you would owe the plumber. I'm sorry, I take that back. You owe $90.10. Okay. Okay, in part C, another problem. Another word problem. An electrician charges $65 to come to your house to fix an electrical problem. The electrician then charges $31.50 for each hour of service. The electrician must charge a tax of 7.25%. Alright, write an expression for how much the electrician will charge without tax. Alright, so again, let's begin by defining our variable. So H is going to equal number of hours. Alright, so the total cost is going to depend on the number of hours that the electrician is at your house. Write an expression for how much the electrician will charge without tax. Okay, so just for the electrician to show up at your house is a $65 flat fee. Alright, then you have to add $31.50 for each hour of service. So 31.50 H. Alright, so that's A. Now, since tax is calculated on the entire charge, write an expression to calculate the tax on the charge. Alright, so here's the charge. So what's the tax that we have to pay on it? We have to pay 7.25%. So 7.25%. So divide by 100. If you do that, it's going to be 0.0725. So we have 0.0725 times 65 plus 31.50 H. So this is tax. Just the tax. This is the charge in Part A. Alright, use the distributive property to rewrite your expression in Part B. Alright, so we're just going to distribute here. 0.0725 times 65. That's going to give us 4.7125. And then 0.0725 times 31.5. That's going to give us a positive 2.28375, and then attach the H. Alright. Now, Part D, write an expression for the total charge including tax. So we have to include charge plus tax. So we have to combine A and B. So 65 plus 31.5